Paddy decides to go see his shrink one day. Paddy Irishman is faced with several difficult decisions that he needs to make, and he can't decide what course of action to take. It's a mountain of mayhem. He's miserable about the whole situation. He has weighed the pros and the cons, and the pros and cons have weighed on him. And he finds himself a hapless hostage of his own hesitation. He's a prisoner, paralyzed by procrastination on these decisions. Procrastinating because he's just not sure if it's the right time to take these particular actions. So he spends an hour venting with his shrink about the whole scenario. And when he gets through, the shrink says, "Paddy, do you think you might have a problem making your mind up?" Well, Paddy scratched his head and he said, "Well," he said, "I suppose I do and I don't." Before I go on, if you would, drop in the comment box, what's the hardest decision that you've ever had to make? Because you weren't sure if it was the right time to make it. And let me know how it turned out for you. Maybe it would help other people. But isn't it the question that we all constantly, quietly, and sometimes desperately wonder and ask ourselves? Is it the right time for this particular scenario, for this situation? Is it the right time? We whisper it, we wonder it in silence. Is it the right time for me to love again? Is it the right time for me to get married? I remember when I got married, I was really young. I don't know about the timing, but I'd been shaving about 2 years and I cut myself both times. But in reality, we do face, is it the right time to let go? Is it the right time to risk, to repair, to reconcile? It even sneaks into our work life. Is it the right time to leave this job that's draining my drive, that's dampening my dreams, that's devouring my day life? And we think, well, it's a paycheck. And the coffee's free, so maybe I'll stick it out for another year. And it becomes even fuzzier when it comes to family. Is it the right time to have kids? I remember facing these questions. Is it the right time to have kids? And I have friends that decided in answering that question that they would get a dog first. I guess, see if we can keep the dog alive for 2 years and then we'll have a kid. Now that's kind of scary logic, but each to his own. And then in the dark and secret spaces in our own soul, and many great messages from you guys, is it the right time to forgive? Is it the right time to surrender, to finally become who I have always wanted to be? Or maybe I just sit down and binge watch another box set on Netflix and blame bad timing. But here's the reality. The time rarely ever feels right. We wait for certainty, and certainty's like Wi-Fi here in the countryside. It's wildly unreliable and weak, to say the least. Certainty, it's rarely ever going to come. The timing is rarely going to feel right. What we actually need is not the right time. We need courage. We need courage to step forward and to stop stalling, to start something maybe scary, even when the clock is unclear and it's cloudy. Here's a story that I have used throughout my career and my life that has helped me to answer the question, though. Two men are wandering through the woods on their daily walk, as they do. and they come across a branch that's beginning to block their path. It has started to get bigger over the years, and it's bending lower, and it's becoming a barrier basically. And each day they're finding themselves. They're having ducking and dodging and dancing around this branch, and finally this one day they said, you know what? It's time that we cut this branch. And so a discussion ensues. And one of the main reasons, well, the best time to cut the branch is going to be the summertime, because the wood is going to be soft. You're going to be in short sleeves, and the sun will be shining. No heavy winter gear or anything like that. He said that's the best time to cut the branch. And the other guy said, no. He said the best time to cut the branch is the winter. The weather is brisk, the wood will be brittle, and it will break with just barely a blow. And while they're engaged in this heated discussion, a wise old man from the village walks by. And they put the question to him. They asked the wise old man, they said, they explained the situation. They said, when do you think is the right time to cut the branch? And the wise man smiled, and he leaned forward, and he said the right time to cut the branch is when you have the opportunity. If the opportunity is in front of you right now, then stop debating, dithering, delaying. Just do it before the branch takes over your whole pathway and you can never get passage past it. And I've never believed in the statement, well, I'll give it a try. I remember Bart Simpson one time said, trying is the first step in failure. Don't try. Do. Remember the Nike ad? Just do it. That's actually a biblical word. It comes from 1 John chapter 5 and verse 4. And it's to describe faith that gives us victory that overcomes the world. Yes, the noun Nike is a biblical word from the Greek word nikeo. And it is used to express success and triumph. So don't talk about trying, talk about doing. That's what we want. So to me, that's the answer. When it comes to the right time to forgive, to risk, to love, to change, it's not when the conditions are calm, clear, and convenient. It's when the opportunity is staring us right in the face. I understand what scares us most, because I look in the mirror, we're all the same. What scares us most is the uncertainty. It's like getting an envelope in the mail and you're a bit worried about, but you got to open it. And it's the same idea. It's the uncertainty that worries us. And I love this quote. I've also thought about this as I considered difficult situations in my life. Eckhart Tolle makes this statement. He's the author of The Power of Now. And he says this. He says, if you can become comfortable with the unknown, with uncertainty, then endless possibilities await you. And maybe today is that time. If this video makes you think about a choice that you've been dodging or delaying or denying, hit the like button so that I know it connected. And if you're still waiting for the right time, subscribe, because sometimes the nudge that you need is not the perfect moment, but it's the present one. The truth is, as I said, the time rarely ever feels right. When we wait for certainty, and certainty seldom comes, what we need instead is courage. We need courage to step forward, even when the clock is unclear and it's cloudy. We need courage to trust that the right time may not arrive until you do. So it's not the right time that needs to arrive, it's you that needs to arrive, it's me that needs to arrive, to seize the moment if the opportunity is before you. So what? You might fail. Yeah, you might fail. But here's my message. Fail fabulously. But don't fail to step forward for a brighter future for yourself. Go down with gusto. Give it a chance. Victor Hugo once said, the author of the classic, the Monte Cristo, the Count of Monte Cristo, excuse me. He said, dying is nothing. Dying is nothing. The real tragedy is not to live. And I will never forget the words that Zig Ziglar, the great motivational speaker, told me one time. Everything doesn't have to be great for you to get started. But you have to get started for it to be great. And I hope that this message helps you to step forward and take advantage of an opportunity that is ahead of you. Stay tuned, subscribe, and hopefully this message was uplifting and helpful to you.